This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Ann-Marie Andric, and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR The Real Deal, HR by HR for HR. Hello, Hanna.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So happy.
Yes, it's equally nice to be here now again.
You're back. We had such an interesting conversation the last time, and I thought that we would follow up on that one. But before we do that, just to recap, what did we talk about the last episode?
Yeah, so we focus a little bit on, we have this two-part strategy really. So one in terms of getting us to net zero emissions by 2030. So we talked a lot about, okay, how do we work then internally to get those emissions down? And then the other one, which we'll dive into a little bit more then, is how we then leverage our platform to make all our users engaged about this topic.
Exactly. Now, on those activities that you do internally, you've mentioned quite a few examples for me offline that I thought would be interesting to share with the listeners and the audience. Something about what are you doing in marketing, for example?
Yes, it's good to see that, of course, I mean, our biggest emission sources are really from, then, as you said, marketing, from the R&D team in terms of cloud and so such things, and then also, of course, our offices and employees. Mm-hmm. So we have excellent teams working with that for all the different areas. So some of the initiatives we've done in the past year is, for example, when it comes to marketing, they've really doubled down in terms of the digital marketing, for example, to focus on what they can do to take those emissions down. Mm. But also what we see very interestingly enough is that if we optimize that for carbon and climate, we also see that it actually makes still the impressions better. So it's very nice to see that kind of other metrics also goes hand in hand with climate impact in that sense.
Yeah.
But then we've had in terms of R&D, I'm so amazed by our engineers in terms of what they do. So everything from making the app as lean as possible, so it doesn't require too much battery on your device, and hence also we save emissions, of course. Mm. But it's also in terms of being efficient with cloud, but also then if you watch or listen to Spotify on your TV, for example, we even have this dark mode now. So you can kind of dim the lights and not require as much electricity. So
cool.
Yeah, they're doing very cool stuff.
I didn't know. I'll try.
And one of my favorite things is also here from the office perspective. Yeah. We have such a nice team. I know you've been speaking earlier to representatives from our Community X team.
Exactly.
So they did these Spotifest. It's our annual company fest, basically, in different locations. Mm. And if I just take the Stockholm example, they really implemented so many cool features and had a completely certified event as well from a climate perspective. Mm. So it was everything from a very diverse acts. It was, the T-shirts and so on you had was actually from secondhand that they printed on site, and the food was very sustainable. We even had reusable cutlery and so on that you then could take and then you put in, and then you could reuse that several times. So it was overall such a cool event from that standpoint as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And what is the feedback from the employees?
Very good.
Yeah.
I think also we have a very passionate group of people here at Spotify as well. Mm. So they really want to be part of this, and I'm also happy to see that so many people feel that that we really do care about this, and also that they can spend time on this as part of their jobs, because they of course have the expertise in, be it marketing, JVS, or then R&D.
True, beautiful. Thank you so much. So that's the internal work that you do, quite a lot and super relevant and interesting. How about then leveraging your platform to enhance the climate focus?
Yeah, and I think that's so important as well, because many companies, not only Spotify, but we see so many other companies today are mainly, their main impact is maybe they have just a few offices and so on. So their main impact on society and on the planet is more through their products or services, or then platform in our case.
Right.
It's a little bit like, I think both the Swedish, comics, Bamse, the bear, but also Spider-Man. They always said that, if you're strong and big, you need also to be responsible and be kind.
And be kind.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and we are big and
Bamse.
Exactly. Not often you bring him up in a business conversation, but yeah. So what we really have tried to do is focus to work with scientists. That has always been our kind of the base and the foundation, because I'm of course a climate nerd that you might have seen. So I started out with thinking, if we just put more scientific content on Spotify, problem solved.
Right.
Because we do have almost, I mean, we know the problem and we have also most of the solutions already, but still we see that we're not tracking in the right direction when it comes to global warming. So something is
off.
Exactly. So we're speaking a lot with scientists and they just really want our help as well with using creativity to take the science and make it so that people can, first of all, just take it in, but also then feel emotionally connected to it, feel that this has relevance to me, or I feel emotionally impacted by this, because that's when people take action. It's not, I mean, there are few people that actually read a scientific report and then change their behavior.
Something.
Exactly. So you need to make it more close to home, relevant, but also engaging, really. So that's what we've been focusing on. And I know Ebba talked a year ago about this 2072, which was more like cli-fi, which is science fiction, but with climate content.
Yeah.
But since then we've tried different formats to make it more accessible and also really take climate to where people are on our platform already, be it true crime or something else, rather than try to force them to a place where only the climate nerds are
exactly. Exactly. Beautiful. And then you said something interesting, you know, take it close to where people are.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, I mean, you're in a lot of different forums, festivals, for example. I know that some time ago, there was this huge festival in Gothenburg, way out west, where you obviously had a presence. You were there, and you also had quite a few activities with regards to climate. Can you share with us what you did there?
Yeah, I think to your point, I mean, it's not only what we have on our platform, and we can talk a little bit about that later, but it's also where we have it.
Yes.
So I think it's always important to integrate climate to existing formats and where people are already engaging. So it's not only, I mean, the climate events, they're also very important and take us forward towards a more low carbon society. But it's also festivals that have become such an important place to actually change behavior. It has been, I mean, I talked to some super interesting scientists this summer because they are doing research on exactly that we see that festivals almost becomes a little bit of a micro society.
Yes.
Where we also need to be more sustainable. I mean, we also were present at the Roskilde Festival in Denmark.
Right.
And I mean, it is limited water. We need to take care of our resources and waste in a much smarter way. And also most festivals are very focused on, for example, vegetarian or vegan food.
Vegan food.
So all of that together, and also then of course the diversity dimensions are super important as well. So it becomes this micro society, and where people, in many cases actually, it's the first time people maybe take some climate actions. Like we've seen that vegetarian food is maybe the first time you have a vegan burger at a festival because you're almost forced to do it. And then they have actually researched that, okay, how many people then take that behavior and then incorporate that in their lives going after the festival. And it's actually a very interesting percent that it is around 15% that actually change their behavior only based on activities during a short festival.
And how do you track that? How do you follow up on that?
So it's several scientists that have done that, and now also the Stockholm Resilience Center is doing great research on it and will publish something interesting soon on that topic. So that's why we think that festivals are such an important place, because people are a little bit more open. And it was cool to see at Roskilde, they even had this circularity lab where climate startups could come and test their ideas to see them. So it has become an important place.
Yeah.
So that's why we've done everything from talks with scientists and creators, really bringing them together and focusing on exactly that question, that how can we take the science and package it in a way that people will kind of take in and take action on. So
wonderful, beautiful, so inspiring.
It was good to see.
So what do you, if you look like into the futures, let's say 6 to 12 months, what are you looking forward to?
So we had, in this year, we have done 2 main projects really on the platform. So I can briefly describe them because those are the ones that we would continue to work on. So one is really focusing on nature. So Nature is now a verified artist on Spotify. So this has been led by the Museum for the UN and also with so many other great partners, such as Earth%, which is Brian Eno's charity organization where artists can donate part of their royalties to nature projects. So Nature is now an artist, which means that if you listen to certain nature sounds, but also some artists that have done features with nature sounds.
I just love the fact that nature is an artist.
I know, I mean, just this. I mean, we're always featuring. Now we're featuring the wind here and so on.
I just love it.
Yes, it's so nice. I also think it's like, it's something so deep in you that really resonates with that concept.
Yeah.
So nature then gets kind of money for using her sounds, and then it
True
goes to Nature
artist.
Conservancy. So
True
it's very
artist.
cool to see. So that is something we will continue to build upon. And actually, that was also one of my favorite moments this summer, when the Norwegian artist Aurora, she actually performed her song with nature on stage when she was headlining Roskilde Festival.
Oh.
And it was even cooler because it was raining, and when she started to play, the sun came out.
Oh,
so it
my
felt like
God.
almost a little bit of a sign in that sense.
Yes.
But I think that it's so nice with that project because it's really, once again, going to the core of what Spotify does best. We are so much about music and audio, and how we then can integrate that so that everyone can really become a little bit of a climate hero by just listening to music. And I like that because there are so many things we need to do for taking climate action, and some are kind of hard. But I think most people can actually listen to a song, which are pretty good songs as well, and take climate action in that sense.
I'm so impressed how easy you make it.
That's always the ambition.
Yeah.
I mean, there are difficult things, and we should never shy away from that. But sometimes I think it's important to also show that it can be fun, and more like talk about what we can add rather than all the things we need to leave behind to take climate action. So that's always, we want to lead with positivity and hope, but based on science.
Yeah.
So that's
So impressive, so inspiring.
So that will, of course, something we'll continue to do more of. And the other thing is this, as I said, once again, trying to bring climate to maybe an audience that hasn't listened to climate content before. So we did a collaboration also with Norrsken.
Exactly.
That does a lot of focus on trying to help climate startups and other startups.
And what is Norrsken?
It's a charity, or not a charity, but it's a fund that is really focusing on supporting different solutions. So we have been partnering with them to highlight companies from their 100 list, which is they're trying to do the Nobel Prize, so to say, but for climate companies. So we highlighted some really cool solutions, everything from a company that helps to deal with cows' burps, because that produce a lot of emissions, to chocolate without cacao, and also then we actually made people listen to an episode on cement.
Oh.
Exactly. So I think most people will probably not listen to cement maybe, but it's done in a little bit different way. And then also it's hosted by Alexander Skarsgård.
Exactly.
So maybe we can lure over some Succession fans to listen to the cement.
I'm sure you will.
Hopefully. Yeah, and it
sure
actually shows that it's good numbers. So we're happy to see that people are appreciating it.
Beautiful. So inspired. I got goosebumps.
Nice to hear.
Thank you. Thank you so very much for coming back and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
I'm sure that we will invite you back.
Looking forward to
in
that.
due course. Thank you so much. You already know how we close these episodes.
Yes.
The 3 things.
Yes.
Shall we?
Yes.
Let's do it.
So stay safe, stay strong, and stay active.
Idemo dalje. Hanna, very good. Like a pro. Idemo.
Modalji.
Idemo dalje.
Idemo dalje.
Vill du göra igen?
Nej, men
Nej.
3:e gången, då kommer du sitta. Idemo
Idemo
dalje.
dalje.
Idemo
Okay.
dalje.
Idemo dalje.
Okay, one more time. I have to...
Okay, let's do. Okay.
Idemo dalje.
Idemo dalje.
Ja. Okej, nu kommer jag säga det fel bara därför. Okej.
Ja, men alla gör det och så liksom bara krampar vissa liksom. Och sen så, så blir det också, jag vet inte, så bara försöka ta ner det till att det blir så konkret och enkelt som möjligt så att folk faktiskt kan greppa det.
När folk inte pratade samma språk, det blir inte bra.
Så blir det som ett moment 22 liksom. Ja. Okej.
Ja.
Star. Nature is an artist. I just love that. Yeah. We love her. Nature.
Yeah,
yes.